Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys get big update on Brandon Cook's return timeline. Cowboys fans received an unexpected update ahead of their Week 5 matchup against the Steelers that wide receiver Brandon Cooks would miss some time with a knee infection. It was reported that when he was getting a routine injection on his knee after the Giants game last Thursday, the ear got infected. Therefore, he was ruled out for this Sunday, and it was reported that it could be a longer absence. We finally have more details about Cook's status. NFL Network's Jane Slater reported that Cook's knee was treated by team doctor Dan Cooper, who cleaned out the infection and smoothed out the meniscus issue that led Cooks to get an injection in the first place. Dr. Cooper added that Cooks should feel great in 1 to 3 weeks. A source informed tells me the Cowboys were aware of the injections that Brandon Cooks was undergoing in New York post-game. Described as a common solution to avoid a scope for the meniscus. The knee got infected. When he returned to Dallas, Dr. Dan Cooper, the team doctor, then. That timeline can be read as a positive update for Cowboys fans. The Cowboys play the Steelers and the Lions in the next 2 weeks and have their bye in Week 7. It sounds like it will be hard for Cooks to play against Detroit in Week 6, but he should have a good chance to return coming out of the bye week. The details of this injury were later confirmed by Dr. Jesse Morse on social media. He hypothesized that the injection Cooks received after the game wasn't done properly, causing the infection. He added that 1 to 3 weeks timeline is accurate for recovery from such an infection. Jane, here's likely how this played out. Cooks actually sustained the infection after receiving injections to the knee. This could have been cortisone, PRP, or even stem cells. Either way, the person doing the injection unfortunately failed to properly clean the area where they. The Cowboys have reportedly contacted the Raiders to trade for Davante Adams, but a deal to bring in more help doesn't seem imminent. The organization believes in its wide receiver depth and will hope the likes of Kevonde Turpin and Jalen Brooks will step up in Cook's absence. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy looks back at his Pittsburgh roots. As Mike McCarthy talks, the memories of Pittsburgh keep flowing. Roberto Clemente, that was the first guy I think I had on my wall as a young kid in the late 60s, the Dallas Cowboys coach said in his office at the Star earlier this week of the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame outfielder. He dominated in the 60s and the early 70s in baseball. Mentioned the college football games at Pitt, and it is as if he can still see running back Tony Dorsey TT. He didn't become Tony Dorsey TT until he came to the Cowboys' run for a touchdown. My dad would always be like, "Hey, pay attention, keep your eyes open. He's going to break one. 33 is going to break one," McCarthy said. It was just a matter of when, not if. After attending Mass on Sundays and cleaning his father's bar, it was time to watch the Steelers. I could name the whole defense, from then, probably still today, McCarthy said, and then he does. McCarthy has not lived in Pittsburgh since 1992, but it's still home. Always will be. He still sounds like he is from there, growing up in Greenfield, just a few miles from downtown. This week, McCarthy returns home for the first time as coach of the Cowboys, 2-2, to take on the Steelers, 3-1, who still play in the same spot where the Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio rivers meet. Gone is Three Rivers Stadium. Acrisure Stadium is the Steelers' home now. McCarthy's parents, Joe and Ellen, still live there, not far from the Greenfield Avenue homes where they raised 5 children. Now, they're up on a bluff next to McCarthy's sisters, Ellen and Kelly. Colleen lives nearby too. They will all be at the game Sunday, as well as other friends and family. With help of the Rooney family, McCarthy was able to secure a suite. Between our people and their people, we were able to get what we needed, McCarthy said. On Saturday night, his first stop will be at the mausoleum at Calvary Catholic Cemetery, where his younger brother, Joe, rests after passing in 2015. then he will drive to his parents' house and spend time with family. It's always a special opportunity, said Kelly McCaffrey, one of Mike's sisters, who is the senior director at the Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon University. He's been in the NFL for 30 years now, and it's so intense, but we're always happy to get the chance to see him. I know he's focused on the business at hand, and we're absolutely thrilled to support him and his team. McCarthy wishes the Cowboys were staying closer to downtown Pittsburgh instead of out by the airport. I'll take the scenic route to the house because it's always cool to ride through the neighborhood, McCarthy said. They will have some pizza from his favorite spot, Aiello's, but his mother will also cook up a feast. My mom is a great cook, Kelly said, adding, she pretty much sets the menu. He'll be happy with whatever she makes. McCarthy first returned as an NFL head coach in 2009 with the Green Bay Packers. The next trip home in 2017 was especially painful, since it was the first game there since Joe's death. The Packers lost both games by a total of 4 points. In fact, the Steelers are the only team McCarthy has played multiple regular season games against and not recorded a win. But he can still claim bragging rights over his hometown team. More on that later. Growing up in Pittsburgh, I am so proud to be from there. Proposed trade sends Cowboys a $100 million 5-time Pro Bowl playmaker. Few teams are as familiar with Cleveland Browns star receiver Amari Cooper, quite like the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the receiver is being floated as a potential trade candidate. Could the Cowboys be interested in a reunion with Cooper? The team did not end things on the best of terms with Cooper, but Dallas needs help across the roster. All-City DLS Clarence Hill Jr. suggested the Cowboys could land Cooper for a future 5th-round pick. If the Cowboys are still in the race, they need to flip a 5th-round pick for Cooper, Hill detailed in a September 21, 2024, message on X. Cooper is in the final season of a 5-year, $100 million contract the wideout initially signed with Dallas. The 5-time Pro Bowler was slated to have an $8.7 million cap hit this season. According to Spotrac, the Browns made a structural change in his contract that makes him more tradable. The Browns converted all but $1.21 million of W.R. Amari Cooper's 2024 salary into signing bonus, making him an extremely affordable trade candidate. Now, $941,111 deadline, $605,000, Spotrac noted on X on September 30. Heavy on Cowboys. Amari Cooper would be a familiar face for the Dallas Cowboys. It is worth noting there is a reason Cooper is being mentioned in trade rumors. The star's production this season has not been the same as it was during Cooper's Pro Bowl campaigns. Through the first 4 games, Cooper has 16 receptions for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper posted 35 or fewer receiving yards in 3 of these 4 matchups, but the Cleveland offense is not exactly humming on all cylinders. Cooper just made the Pro Bowl in 2023, posting 72 catches for 1,250 yards and 5 touchdowns in 15 starts. It is hard to believe Cooper suddenly dropped off as an elite receiver over the offseason. As a reminder, the Cowboys traded Cooper to the Browns in 2022 in exchange for swapping a 6th-rounder for a 5th-round pick. Dallas sending a 5th-round selection to Cleveland would be giving up more than the franchise received in 2022. The Cowboys roster has plenty of flaws, and a strong argument can be made that Dallas has other more pressing needs than receiver. Namely, the defensive line has been unable to generate consistent pressure or stop the run. Now, the Cowboys unit will be even weaker with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons sidelined with injuries. Yet, Cooper's availability would help fill a need, even if it is not the biggest need. The Cowboys have struggled to find production at wideout outside of CeeDee Lamb. Brandon Cooks is now sidelined with an injury, putting even more pressure on the position group. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Amari Cooper? Leave your opinion in the comments.